This video is brought to you by Squarespace. From now until June 25th, you can get 10% off all film developing and scanning orders at my go-to film lab, Speedy ePhoto. All of the C41 images that you'll see in today's video were developed and scanned by Speedy ePhoto, and all of the slide film images were scanned by Speedy ePhoto. They do accept mail-in orders, and all the information is in the description. I wasn't planning on making a video about this photography experience that I had a few weeks ago, but I got the scans back from the lab and actually surprisingly enjoyed the photos that I got. And I figured it warranted a little video showing these images and talking about them a little bit. Back on April 15th, my girlfriend had a photo shoot up in the Mount Vernon area during the Skagit Valley Tulip Festival, which is a huge event that happens every year up in the Skagit Valley, where a bunch of venues in the area curate this beautiful display of millions and millions of tulips as they're blooming in the springtime. I decided to go up there just for fun with the Pentax 672 55mm lens and the 105mm and just shoot around. And when deciding on which film stocks to bring with me for this occasion, I figured that Ektar 100 would be a good bet, given that it has a little bit more contrast and saturation, which I thought would suit the really beautiful colors up there. I also decided to bring one of my remaining rolls of Velvia 100, which is a color positive film that was discontinued in 2021. And in my opinion, it is the best slide film that's been produced in the modern era. I've shot Ektachrome and I've shot Provia, but for me, Velvia has always delivered the best colors consistently. Given that it was discontinued in 2021, it's harder to come across these rolls, and when you do come across them, they're typically pretty expensive. I have about 15 rolls left, and I'm someone who hoards stuff like this if I know I can't get my hands on more of these rolls easily and for a affordable price. Now, it obviously doesn't make sense to shoot slide film all the time. It's less forgiving than color negative film is. It's typically more expensive, both the film stock itself and to get it developed. But if you're able to justify shooting a roll once every 3, 4, 5 months, please grab a roll of Ektachrome, or if you have some old Velvia, or you can find Provia available somewhere, pick up a roll, put it through your camera, get it developed, get the actual physical film strip back, put it on a light table, grab a loop, and look at those images and proceed to be absolutely blown away. I always forget just how special and unique it is to look at a medium format, color positive piece of film on a light table. It's really unlike anything else in photography. And when you look at these images through a loop, it really doesn't seem like you're looking at a flat piece of film. It looks like you're taking a dive into a three-dimensional little world with the most vibrant colors you've ever seen and this incredible depth that is somehow captured in color positive film that I don't think is quite captured by any other means in photography. Yeah, it's just something that I constantly forget about for some reason until I end up shooting another roll of this stuff and set it down on the light table and sit there with my jaw on the floor because there's just nothing else like it. It's so incredibly cool, and it's one of the coolest ways to view a final photo. I think it's one of the reasons why a lot of directors in Hollywood are pushing for the viewing of their films via a color positive film print shown through a projector. It's just unlike any other viewing experience, and you can experience that firsthand for yourself at your house. Even if you're shooting on 35mm film, 35mm Ektachrome, when you look at that stuff on a light table and through a loop, I mean, you're still going to have a really, really cool experience. And if it's something that you've never done before, I really encourage you to give it a try, because when you nail exposure on a piece of slide film and set it down on the light table. I mean, it's really, really damn cool. So I'm really glad that I brought a roll of Velvia up on this trip with me. And I'm really happy that I nailed the exposure on all 10 frames of this roll. I think shooting this particular event was perfect. The colors came through just gorgeous. And I'm really excited to get a few of these images printed and framed to hopefully either hang at the house or give to some family members. This experience has also unfortunately made me want to get a 4x5 camera again and shoot some slide film through that, because I can only imagine what looking at a 4x5 color positive piece of film on a light table is like. I mean, I'm getting giddy about looking at a 6x7 centimeter piece of film. I mean, imagine looking at a 4x5 or 8x10 piece of this stuff on a light table. I mean, that's got to be just otherworldly. Now, you might have noticed that a lot of these photos from the Tulip Festival had a pretty short focusing distance. The minimum focusing distance for the 55mm lens for the Pentax is 0.4 meters, but the minimum focusing distance for the 105 lens is 1 meter, so you can't really get super close to your subject. Now, you can pick up extension tubes for the Pentax, which essentially bring the lens a little bit farther away from the camera body and achieve closer focusing that way. But there is another way, and that's through the use of a very rare accessory, which is this guy right here. This is a close-up lens filter designed by Pentax specifically for the 105 lens. Now, close-up lens filters are not unique. You can go on Amazon and pick up a kit yourself, but from my experience using those filters, they're designed for 35mm full frame cameras. So when you put a filter that you get on Amazon on a medium format camera, you get really weird, unnatural looking distortion around the edges of the frame. This filter is designed to cover the full medium format film plane, and they're really hard to find. My buddy Raphael showed me this filter originally a couple of years ago. He's the only other person that I know of that has one, and I've been on the hunt for one ever since. And a couple of months ago, he texted me a link to eBay post, and this was for sale, so I had to pick it up. Not going to go into too much detail now because I'm going to make a separate video just highlighting the functionality of this filter, shoot some more portraits with it, which I'm really excited to do. But it was fun bringing it to the Tulip Festival and getting a bit closer to these flowers than I would have been able to get had I not had this filter. I also shot a portrait of Alicia at the end of the day using this filter. She's not going to be happy that I'm showing it in this video probably. I missed focus ever so slightly. Shooting with this thing on the 105mm at f2.4, I mean, your depth of field is hairline thin. So you can see I nailed focus on her nose instead of her eye. But her eyebrow is pretty much in focus, but her eye is not. So that kind of goes to show just how shallow the depth of field can get when you use this close-up focusing filter. You're able to get this really cool kind of large format-esque look. And that was really fun to play with up there at the Tulip Festival. All right, I'll end with a key takeaway that I had from this whole experience. You know, when I went up to photograph tulips, I didn't exactly expect to enjoy the process of photographing flowers. I'm someone who likes to get on the road, get on the trail, go and have an adventure, have my camera with me, and photograph whatever I find interesting. And usually that is not detailed photos of singular subjects like a group of flowers. But when I got up there and started pointing my camera in different directions and trying to frame up different compositions of these flowers, I noticed that it was incredibly creatively stimulating, which isn't something that always happens to me when I'm out in the field doing my regular work. I found myself being really meticulous about the way I was composing these frames and being really intentional with where I wanted to place a certain flower within the frame. So I'd spend 3, 4, 5 minutes sometimes just framing up these compositions with the Pentax of a single flower, which is never something that I'd really do when I'm out, in the field or on the trail shooting wider landscapes, I'm always pretty meticulous with my compositions, but never so much so where I'm taking 5 minutes to frame up a single frame. So it was a really good creative exercise for me. And it was then really nice to see that intentionality that I had while photographing come through to the end results. When I got the photos back, 30 photos, 3 rolls of film, I really enjoyed pretty much every photo that I shot, which virtually never happens. I mean, I'm lucky to maybe like 1 photo out of the roll. And for this occasion, I am really happy with pretty much every photo that I shot. I think it's always important to get a little bit outside the lane that you find yourself comfortable in, because you might be able to find some valuable lessons and skills that you can then bring back into that main lane of work that you're focusing on. And at the end of the day, I really think it helps make you a better photographer. So with that being said, thanks very much for watching the video, and I will catch you on the next one. Peace. Squarespace is the best in the business when it comes to building a new website. Whether you're a photographer, artist, musician, or starting a new business, Squarespace has all the tools you need to get a professional website up and running. I recently hosted an entire online photography gallery that featured 100 photographers from around the world on my personal website, and that's all thanks to Squarespace. The website building interface is extremely intuitive, and absolutely zero coding is necessary. They have a ton of fantastic templates to choose from, and from there you can begin to further customize the look and feel of your site to make it unique to you. On top of that, they have great e-commerce tools that let you keep track of orders, inventory, customers, offer memberships, and more. And with fantastic customer service, you're always in the clear if you ever need help along the way. If you'd like to receive 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain, head over to squarespace.com/Brae or use code BRAE at checkout to do so.